You're tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Yeah, Rick Ross, Ricky Rose, Rosa Rick in the building.
That's all the lyrics you know.
Rosa Rick in the building. According to Jason Pitts, he called him Rosie Rick.
Rosie Rick, yeah. Ricky Rose.
Ricky Rose.
Yes.
Maybach music.
Yes. Why did you say that like nobody knows it? Maybach music.
Maybach music.
Maybach music.
There you go. I like that. Shout out to the producer.
Yes, welcome to another episode of The Game After Show right here on AFTERBUZZ TV. I'm your host, Megan Thomas. And who are you guys?
Hey guys, I'm Courtney Tezeno.
What's up? I'm Kevin John. That didn't sound right.
You tried though.
I tried. Thank you.
You did. Good job. E for effort. So we're gonna talk about episode 3 of season 8, the Pitsy Shuffle. Why Pitts really dipped. I missed the Pitsy Shuffle. Do y'all remember the Pitsy Shuffle? The little dance he had.
I forgot. Would you mind demonstrating it real quick for the fans?
I don't really remember how it went, but you know, it was. It just, you know what? Don't stop.
Viewers,
stop.
if you want Megan to do that by the end of the season, please make sure that you
tweet us in the comments.
The Pitsy Shuffle. But yes, before we get started, though, I do want to say this. I need to apologize to everybody out there because last week I did say that this was the last season, and I was mistaken because season 9, the next season, is the last season, and I was mistaken because the producers did the production and the filming for both seasons concurrently. So in my head, for some reason, it ran together and I thought it was one season, but it's not.
We all apologize.
So yes, we apologize, and thank y'all for so much for putting in the comments that I was wrong, because I read everything.
Yeah, they're always on top of it. Thank you.
Boom! Shout out to all our followers and viewers. So yes, this episode 3, we see the aftermath of what happened after the wedding, and it starts off with Perez Hilton, which I think is actually a smart move that they had Perez on the show, because if you think about it, Perez is a big blogger. And so what is he going to do in his real life? He's going to blog and tweet out, everyone watch this episode of The Game. I'm all over it. Like, you need to watch it.
Right.
It's smart, because
Great
that's like
publicity.
another, 1 million followers that he has that is going to watch the game tonight, that probably, some of them don't even watch the game, but will just because Perez is on it.
Right.
It's smart.
Of course. I thought they just had him on there to be eye candy, but apparently it was...
I don't really know how many people felt the same way you felt.
I'm
sure someone did, but...
we'll keep it at eye candy, because we know how Perez can get, so eye candy is
whatever. I ain't scared of you, Perez, but I should be scared of you because Perez was really scary this episode.
Yes.
He was really mean.
He was throwing way too much shade. I was a little like...
I mean, he throws shade, let's be real, but he threw
way too much.
Was it just me, or I kind of found him a little offensive at times when he was like doing stereotypical sassy black girl type things, and I was like, whoa, this is taking it a little too far there.
But to be honest, that is the drag gay. That's the gay way. Half the time you would think that they are.
He's a queen, honey. He's a queen.
He is a queen.
He always rips people like that. But I did think that while Perez in real life he does talk about people and he is offensive, he was really character-y. Like, he was like trying hard, like really hard to play himself. Which I don't understand why it was so hard to play yourself, Perez.
But you know what?
But he's coming from a blog side, so I don't think that he was able to transfer that onto TV. So,
but
he still has a lot of experience on camera. But
right,
what I think what it looked like was like the director on set, whoever was directing it, was just like, all right, Perez, just make sure you hit these 3 points and just go with it. Have fun, do whatever. Seriously, it didn't look like he had a lot of direction. It was just like, go and just be a caricature of yourself.
Right, and I think that's what it was.
It felt like lines, though.
Oh, yeah, he absolutely had lines.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably what threw him off, because it's like, okay, Perez, be yourself, but read these lines. And then it came off like, you're just going to read these lines.
Right, because he's amazing at improv, so that just didn't work, the lines.
Yes, it didn't. But, of course, shout out to the producers for putting Perez on the show. Good look. But we see that he's on the show. He's talking about how Jason Pitts and Charday didn't make it down the aisle, and he replayed the slap. He replayed them being at the altar, and of course, it's big news all over the blog sites, all over all the shows that the Pitts are no longer the Pitts. And Charday sees all these things, and she has Tasha, the wrong person, next to her to talk about these things. But Tasha is gonna put on her manager hat again and manage Charday. What do you guys think about that?
One, can we talk about her manager hat dance? That was
I loved it.
She was so over the top. I'm like, all right, Tasha's back.
She's happy, girl. She's back to be at work.
She was excited about being back. I think it's good that Tasha is going back to being a manager because we need to see that side of her now that she's becoming a mom. Like we're kind of losing Tasha, so it's good to see her come back. I also think that Charday really needs a lot of cleaning up. So who better to do it than Tasha?
I think Tasha really needs to focus on her most important title and role, and that's being a mom.
There you go.
I mean, I respect the fact she's trying to get back on the grind, and like you said, she's we saw her a little reminiscent of her old Tasha ways when she was doing her dance and going back into the manager persona. But I don't know. I mean, it's great for TV, but I still feel, and as we see at the end, she was having some trouble being which we'll talk about later.
Right.
But I just think that I think it's just a little too soon for her to jump back into manager. I know she's hungry and she's ready to get back out there, but
who else is gonna do that though? She's Charday is one of her best friends. I mean, she's done this before. Who else would she go to? So I think it makes sense. Right. Storyline.
And I mean, Tasha's. If we think about all the other seasons, Tasha's a beast of a manager. She's really good at what she does. So, I mean, when you think about it, she probably is the best person to do this for Charday. But I don't know, pushing her out in the forefront of the blogs and the news at this time, I don't think was a good idea. So we see that Tasha has Charday go on Perez Hilton's show, which was the worst idea ever.
Do you think I don't think it was a bad idea. I just think she should have been more prepared because she really was up there looking like a deer in headlights.
Right. That's why I said it was the worst idea ever, because she wasn't ready for that.
Okay. If she was prepped, then she
would, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially, she's trying to clear her name and set the record straight. I understand the sense of urgency to do that, but at the same point in time, if you want to tell your side of the story, you have to strategically come back into it, which comes with preparation and which comes with having some form of plan to just showing up on set and saying, I'm gonna tell you what happened, this is how it went down. There could have been Tasha, do a sit down with Oprah or something, okay? And tell your way.
Now that would have been better because I mean, we got TMZ, Perez Hilton, a a lot of gossip.
How you gonna go go on a gossip site to try to sell to try to speak truth? That's an oxymoron right there.
Exactly. Right. And of course it blows up in Charday's face. We see that he rips her basically and makes her look even more foolish. And Perez brings something up, a point, and he says, Charday, how did you not see the signs? There had to be something else. And of course she revealed that there was a kiss. And so Perez says, there was an affair, because you think, of course, the exes kiss, there's got to be more than that. Yeah. And Charday's like, no, it's just a kiss. Do you think that we know the truth, but do you think that just by him saying that, it put more doubt in her head about what happened in her situation?
For sure, because when she went to talk to Jason, you could see that everything that Perez was saying was coming out of her mouth now. And a lot of times when we talk to our friends, we get second opinions, we hear outside things, that becomes our own opinion. Right. So I think that's why she had to run to Jason instead of doing her rebranding. She had to go get the answers now. Because remember, he talked about that novel, how she's going to have, I don't know, in every chapter. That was terrible.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and just to set the record straight, a kiss is cheating, all right? I know Jason was like, no, a kiss is any kind of physical,
it doesn't have to be physical. It can be emotional.
That's if you want to get technical, yes. Yeah. That's the root of it, of where it starts. The foundation is emotional, and then it gets physical. But just set the record straight. Kissing is cheating, okay? You're not off the hook.
Within a marriage and a relationship, yes.
Exactly. Especially if it's the ex that's your kid. Ooh, that's like a, ooh.
Boom,
Anyways.
boom.
And also, was I the only one that found it weird that Tasha was just able to run on the set. While they were, it's like, you don't see the publicist managers, they have them all aside during an actual taping or something. And I thought it was just weird the way she just like ran out and they were just like, all right, whatever. And I know it's TV, but.
Right. It further reveals why they were not in the position to put Charday out there yet. The fact that you don't know what Chardonnay's narrative is. She don't know what her narrative is. Y'all talking about a book that's being released. We don't know the title. We don't really know what's going to be in the book, but we don't have a publisher, but it's gonna be a book. Like this was just too soon for them to be out in the public.
Sure.
So of course we see. I felt embarrassed for the both of them.
Oh yeah.
And Charday goes to Jason because she wants to get some answers. Now this to me is probably the realest moment I've seen in a long time from this couple.
I was happy to see it.
Were you?
Yes, because I was team Jason and Kelly the whole time. So yes, I was happy to tell her the truth. Yes. I was very excited, so don't look at me like that.
Oh my gosh. Whatever. What about you, Kevin?
The funny thing is, I thought it was a great moment that they had. I really did, because I thought it was one of the most authentic, just genuine moments they had together. But it's funny because Jason, and I love Jason's humor. I love his humor, his sarcasm, all of that. I really love his character. But it's funny, even when he's trying to be serious, it still kind of came off a little comedic, like the way he was just saying it. And it just rolling off his tongue all nonchalant. But it was something that needed to be done between the both of them, at least to give Charday closure on the situation.
At first he starts off and he says he was a coward. And I was like, hold on, that is not enough. Like, that is not a sufficient answer.
That's what she thought.
And I felt bad for Charday because Charday was telling the truth. She said, was I not a good wife to you? And if you think about it, she really was a good wife. She didn't, she was trying to save him. She didn't want him to die from a concussion playing football. She didn't want him to, go to jail for what he did. She wanted him to tell the truth. Like she really has wanted him to do good things and be the best guy that he could be. And she even says she reduced her seasonings for his simpler palate, which I was cracking up. So that's love right there. That is love, Charday. But she was right. She was like, was I not a good wife? And he says that, yeah, she was. But then finally he says, she was, that you're not the right woman. And I was sad because I felt like, no, Jason, she is the right woman for you.
You thought that.
Because here's the thing. Even though he said when Kelly gave him the money from the steroid to the hush money. When she brought the money and that's what prompted the kiss, that made him go, oh, Kelly's got my back no matter what. But just because Charday didn't want him to take that route doesn't mean she didn't have his back.
And Jason knows that, and that's why he's been so conflicted. He loves both of them, but it's obviously a choice. It's choosing between what type of man he wants to be, and there's obviously a Jason that he is missing with Kelly. He feels like he's lost himself. Those were his glory years, and now he's going over to Charday, who has great intentions, but has changed him a bit, and probably someone he doesn't want to be.
You can never change a man either.
You can't.
You can't change a man, especially once they get to a certain age where they're stuck in their ways. Now, you could try to help. You could try to assist. You can even try to develop, but you can't change them.
Exactly. And that's why I have always been I love Chardonnay's character, okay?
I do too.
I love her. And I actually love them together because I felt like he's a better person. But because he has obviously made his choice and he didn't want to be the better man that Charday saw in him. As most women do, we see the potential in men. We see the potential. We want to bring that potential out. But if he doesn't want to show that potential, he doesn't want to live up to it, there's nothing she can do. Move on, girl. You don't need him. Right. Make your money off your book that is untitled.
But then,
with every chapter, I don't know.
I would think it should be called The Scorned Woman, a series of The Scorned Woman. But I really
Diary of a Mad Scorned Woman.
Scorned Woman.
Right.
Yeah. But that's the sad part of situations like this is she isn't the right one. And I've been told that before. It's one of the most painful things to hear from someone you care about.
That's not good to
Look,
hear.
and when I think about it, I'm like, he wasn't it.
You wasn't it either. Right.
But I think that those moments
It's
really
tough.
make you who you're supposed to be.
Right.
And you're going to become a stronger person independently. And once you're able to, be single, then having someone with you that's compatible will be amazing.
Right.
So I think she's gonna find the right person. She just needed this to happen to toughen that skin.
Honey, she's about to get the house. She's about to get a lot of stuff from this divorce.
Yes.
Yes, unfortunately so. Just take it all. Just take it all.
But I feel like she deserves it because if somebody, if somebody
his house,
everything, this man,
What?
he disrespected her so
What?
horribly.
What?
She deserves something, okay?
Okay, maybe a little bit of alimony, but you want
Maybe a little bit out.
maybe a little something.
Okay, yeah, but
you want him to give up pretty much all his possessions, his assets to her? Because
I didn't say that. Now, okay, he can keep the gravy tray and the gravy ladle. He can keep that, but the house.
Just to go back to the beginning before we move on to the next one. To go back to the beginning of this conversation where she's like, "Why did you do that? Why did you do that?" And he says he's a coward. It's always funny because sometimes, and I know anyone that's ever gotten into, I guess, a disagreement with their significant other, a lot of times, a woman will ask questions like that. Well, why did you? I don't understand why you did it. And if he's trying to be honest and said, look, I was a coward. But then it's like, that's not the answer they want to hear. It's like, well, what do you want this man to do? What can you do in a situation other than just be honest and say,
but that's what I'm saying. That was like a surface answer. That's one of those, it's not you, it's me. But it's deeper than that. Mm-hmm. And that's what she was trying to get to, which is why the whole I was a coward didn't suffice. Like, okay, we know that you're a coward. We know that clearly because of what you did. You didn't have the balls to tell this woman before you got married, before you walked down the aisle, hey, it's not gonna work.
And that was the issue, that there should have been, if you felt that way on the inside in the beginning, you shouldn't have moved forward with her. You need to stay by yourself, Jason. People.
Right, for a wedding she didn't ask for. Mm-hmm.
Mm. But she was sure all up in it. She was sure planning everything.
Because she genuinely cared.
She wanted to be with this man. He's the one that suggested this and didn't want to be with her.
All he did was write the check. If you remember, she was the one that was going over this. Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. And he was just like,
but he wouldn't be. Right. She's excited. She had a crappy first wedding. I would want a good wedding too.
Right. I agree. And don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to sit here and defend somebody who was a sleazeball to her.
Right.
I'm just trying to make sure we understand from both perspectives. And the fact that I think the reason why he did do that to her is because, and this is really bad, but I think he kind of just felt obligated to do that for her because of everything that they had went through last season. And he felt, okay, well, maybe this is just my token of, to pledge my, whatever it was. Right. But it was for the wrong reason. So. Yeah.
Well, we see why you don't need to do things for the wrong reasons. So, okay.
Amen.
All right, so let's move over to Blue and Kira. And what's going on? There's some disdain.
Almost sounded like
a little hate.
That was almost a Rick Ross.
Right. So, of course, we see that Blue's having a little trouble on the field. And we saw last episode that Jason is now his coach, his personal coach, to get him to be the first round draft pick that they paid for.
Right.
And so, of course, they're on the field. And Jason is being... we see that they start off with Jason going over some tape with Blue. Mm-hmm. And first of all, okay, Kevin, you're a dude. You know this kind of stuff. Why are they watching this at Malik's house? And Malik is like feeling all bad about not being on a team. Why would they even do this at his house?
If anything, you know what? Maybe they did it to kind of motivate Malik to get back to where he wants to be so he can, because film sessions are obviously, as you see, they can be intimate. And the fact that Malik was there, I think they did that to motivate him and get him to back to, because they want him out there. Even though they made that joke like, it's for the people that are still playing. I forgot what the joke was.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think, honestly, they're trying to motivate him to get back. Because they know what he still has in him.
I thought it was because Jason was homeless and they didn't want to go to Blue's house. But that was a good one.
Right, because Blue and Kira live together now, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so then I guess the only other option.
So he can't, just because they live together, they can't watch TV?
Well, I think that's because they didn't want the distraction.
Yeah.
And then she came over there and distracted him.
Right, but I guess he felt like, okay, well, she's going to be at the house on her phone, listening to music, getting ready for this
First of all, in any NFL team, they actually have rooms that are designated for tape rooms where you go, you study film, you dissect film, you go over it. Every NFL facility is equipped with multiple rooms of that. So I thought that was a little inaccurately depicted on there. You would never just be like at the homie's house like, yo, let's watch this. No, that's something you have to do. in a space like a classroom or something.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem very recreational. That seems like some hardcore
It was very
studying.
casual with the way they were doing it, and in real life, they would never watch film in that kind of environment.
Do NFL players not watch film at home? Like you have to watch it at the facility?
Well, if you're with your coach, yes, of course.
Okay.
Now, certain players will go home, like your Peyton Mannings and whatnot, who loves film, and will watch it, at home and in his own home. But when you're with the coach and your coach is giving you instruction or analyzation of the play or the schemes,
okay,
you have to be there
right.
with them.
Okay,
it would
that makes
never
sense.
go in that kind of situation. Just to
right. Okay, so they're watching the film, and of course Malik is feeling all cray because he doesn't get to participate except with his home. That's how he's participating. But Kira comes over. She's getting ready to go to this concert with Blue, and he's getting all excited. Let's wrap this up. Did you think the way Jason reacted was accurate when it came to forget her, football's your wife, football's your fiance, football's everything?
Yes and no. I think he was coming from a bitter place when he said that because, we know what he's going through. But then I also think that he was trying to get him to understand that this is important. It's really important for him to get on track because when football was Jason's life, he studied, he put the hard work into it. And I think that Blue is just looking at the perks of being a football player and not actually putting in the work. So I say yes and no to that.
I say absolutely yes. It is critical as a football player that you devote. You got to realize football season is only 16 weeks, okay?
Right.
Regular season. Shorter than any other major professional. So between that time, you have to be dedicated. And there's nothing more frustrating to a coach than a player that is not taking their job serious and not committing themselves fully.
Right.
Football is really intense, even leading up to the season, because there's so much to learn, so many plays to learn, so many defensive packages to learn, offensive packages, whatever end you're on. So I understand where Jason's coming from. Any coach in that situation would be livid if they had a player, especially a Blues potential and caliber, that was not giving their all out there. Mm-hmm. So I absolutely 100% believe that Jason's frustration and everything was clearly justified for that.
Okay. I agree. I go with you.
I get you. It was a little harsh, but I get it.
It's serious.
I know when it's your
business.
calling, that's what you got to do. You got to be focused. I feel
Yeah.
it. So then, of course, Kira is she comes in and she talks to Malik. And Malik says that he's going to go Gandhi. He's not going to smash any chicks for 6 months.
No smash.
Is he going to win the bet or is Kira going to win the bet?
Kira's gonna win that bet. I'm sorry. I don't see it. I know he's going through a lot, but come on now, Malik has never just gone on a hiatus of smash bang. Like, come on now.
Maybe has he? Trying to think.
Unless he was in a relationship, and that means he probably smash bang to get that relationship. So come on.
True. What
I
you
was
think?
about to say, that's actually my prediction, is that Malik will smash next episode. So I don't think that is going to last.
You know what? I think he's actually going to do it. I think he's going to make it.
For real?
I do.
Do you think he's that depressed?
Well, that will be a turning point.
That's what I'm saying, because if you think about it, Malik has always been the same. I feel like if he goes back to being the same old Malik, then there's no story here. It's the same. But there's a story here if he's totally different. If he's doing stuff completely that's like not Malik-ish. You know what I'm saying? I would be like, okay, when he's in situations where he's tempted and he can't act like his whole self. So I think it's a good thing.
Okay, I'm almost where you are. I still think he's gonna smash bang, but
Smash bang.
only way I could see him holding on to this Gandhi thing is if he really is thinking about what's his ex-girlfriend
Yana.
If he's really thinking, having her as like, okay, this is the person I'm gonna save it for, I really want to get her back, then I could see that. Other than that, no.
I understand what you're saying. It kind of like if he has some sort of incentive or some sort of motive in order for him to keep it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and a great motive is a woman.
Yeah.
So
I think there's going to be another woman. I think Yana's done, y'all.
You think
Really?
Yana's
No.
done?
I hope she is. I want there to,
Ooh.
because think about it, every season it seems like there's another chick. The 2 seasons ago, it was the Armenian chick or something that was helping him with his like branding. Or was it 2 seasons ago or like the beginning of last season? It was
I think
like
it's beginning of last season.
she's like the Armenian chick or whatever, the business chick, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
And so then it was Yana, and I feel like, okay, there's got to be somebody else.
Yeah.
It needs to be
Really?
somebody else. Yeah.
I think we're wrapping it up this season. We can't develop another person.
No, there's plenty of time in this season to develop another love interest for him.
There is, but then that's just so selfish. I don't know. Like,
what else is he gonna do with Yana?
I think that Yana motivated him. She is exactly what he needs, I think.
Okay, but I don't think I don't know. I want him to find somebody else.
I agree. I totally agree with Courtney. I think that Yana was, because she was getting him back on track,
right?
Not just from a physical therapist standpoint, but just mentally. I mean, she was really getting him, and then he screwed that up. So I do think that, if I'll put it like this, if Yana doesn't come back around, then I don't believe there's going to be any other girl that he talks to. I just can't see it happening.
No,
it's either Yana or nothing.
Yeah,
look, Yana is back to being a lesbian. He has made her life. She's like, forget all you men. I'm telling you, there's got to be somebody else. There's got to be another story here. I feel like there is. There's got to be.
Maybe from a dramatic writing point of view, I possibly, but I don't know. It wouldn't make sense.
They would have to pull it out. Yeah, I don't see that happening. A serious relationship,
or if there's not another relationship, then Malik will end up being like dad to baby Kai, because we see Tasha's having some issues.
Yeah. Yep.
So he's gonna be like nothing but about this baby. Like it's almost gonna be like it's his baby.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I can see that, right? Okay.
I can't see it. I don't know what glasses you're looking through.
You know what? Y'all some haters.
I'm just saying.
Okay. So then, of course, we see that Jason and Blue are on the field, and Blue does say some stuff to Jason, which is Jason, what did he say? Oh, yeah. So Blue calls him a coward, and then Jason says that Blue is a groupie. And do you think that there is any truth to that, to what they're both saying about each other?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I think the truth of it is obviously seen. Now, obviously, they were embellishing what they thought of each other, and Jason was being as facetious as possible. But yeah, I believe there's a lot of truth to that about what he said about Blue and his semi-famous girlfriend Kia, which was pretty freaking hilarious, by the way.
Yes,
right.
But yeah, I mean, if you look at Blue's history, I think a lot of what Jason was saying is actually pretty credible. And with Blue talking about Jason being a coward and stuff, there's a lot of credibility behind that as well.
But how about this? Okay, so the way that Jason is treating Blue, which is Jason's being a coach, he's being hard on Blue. Do you think any of that was due to him having some issues at home with the women in his life? Or do you think even if he didn't have those issues, he would still be this same Coach Pitts?
I think he would still be the same Coach Pitts, but I think, like Kevin was saying, it was just a little exaggerated, and I think that came from that personal stuff he was dealing with. So I think he still would have been just as hard, because Blue really needs to get it together.
He does. I mean, he was looking horrible out there.
Yeah.
Those routes he were running wasn't even precise.
Right.
But yeah, I do agree that he would still be the same Coach Pitts, but maybe because his personal drama maybe have elevated the situation a little bit, but he would still be Coach Pitts.
Yeah. Okay. So then, of course, we see that Blue gets called a groupie by Jason, which I thought was funny. But then when he goes home and he's studying and Kira comes, she said, I got us into this hot party. It's going to be amazing. He quickly goes from, I got a lot of work to do, to, oh my gosh, who's going to this party?
Yeah.
And she looks at him and she calls him a groupie. And it was at that moment I was like, oh my gosh, he is addicted to the celebrity of being this great NFL player. Mm-hmm. But before this episode, I didn't really see that.
I really didn't see it much either, but I think it was great to see this episode, because clearly that's why he's sucking on the field.
Right.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, that's I think that's his biggest distraction right now is I guess not necessarily being a groupie, but just being addicted to that kind of the lifestyle that it provides.
Right.
And it's like, and I almost wanted to slap him when he was like, okay, I'm gonna put my work away to go and do it. And it's like, what was Jason just telling you to focus on?
Right.
It's like nothing is getting through his head right now.
Right.
And
but I think that comment got through his head. Once two people told him that, he got back to business.
I agree.
He needed that.
Right.
I 100% agree.
And I'm proud of that, because if that's all it took, they should have been called him a groupie. Last season, they should have called him a groupie. Because, of course, he said he got up at 3:30 to get on the field to run routes.
Yeah.
And so, of course, it worked.
It did.
We'll see if it changes his game, though.
That's what's most important. But,
And where can they find us on iTunes, by the way?
They can find this on iTunes. Great segue. You guys can find us on iTunes. Just go to AfterBuzzTV.com and look us up on there. Please comment on us, rate us, give us 5 stars because we don't accept anything less than that. Please continue to keep the conversation going. Like I said, rate, comment, iTunes. You can download the podcast. The podcast is there for you on the site. And I feel like I'm missing something. Am I missing something, Courtney?
Nope.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Comment.
Tell your friends.
Be sure to comment because we reread all of your comments.
We do.
Good, bad, real ugly.
Ugly.
We read
yes.
them.
The negative ones. For whatever reason, the negative comments kind of entertain me.
They do.
No, don't leave no negative comments, or I'm gonna leave some negative comments. I'm not gonna do that.
I don't want to get Megan going.
Okay, leave your comments because your comment could be on our next episode. So that's the last one.
I like
there
that.
you go. So yes, and then of course we see Tasha Mack is back. She's in Tasha Mack mode as a manager with the whole Charday issue. But then we see that TT's in the house taking care of baby Kai. He's been there 6 hours watching the baby, changing diapers, and Tasha does not seem like a new mother. And this is surprising to me because she has been a mother before. She knows how to be a mother because she's clearly already had a son, and she was a single mother at that. And so I feel like maybe because Malik is so far removed, what is he, like 25 or something? It's been about 25 years since she's done
her
this.
maternal instinct is not kicking in. And I know someone left a comment saying that she could be dealing with some postpartum. And I think that may be something that they're trying to set up really because clearly she's not snapping back into mommy mode.
Right. And we saw that last episode. She has the nanny there. It seemed like she wasn't very hands-on. No, she wasn't really holding the baby much. Everybody else was holding the baby except her. Yeah,
and like I said, when the baby is first born, you have to have that contact, skin-to-skin contact. 'Cause then the baby will not know that. I mean, it's like animals. The baby, you will get. I'm sorry, guys. Skin-to-skin contact is needed so that you know that is her child, and she's just neglecting it. It's not good. Or her, right?
Yeah, baby Kai.
Baby Kai.
But it seems like everybody else is taking care of baby Kai. And, of course, the episode ends with, TT having to go pick up some hookers or something, do some man stuff. And baby Kai is crying as most babies do, and Tasha looks so bewildered. And that look on her face when the camera panned off of her was like she was reliving when Malik was a baby and she was a teen and she was a single mom all over again. That just flashed in her face.
I saw that.
Right. And so I think she's worked so hard to get away from that. She doesn't really want to be that. And now that she's a mom, and of course she's supposed to love her baby, she's just like, but I don't really want to be a mom. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can we please jump into predictions? Because I'm like...
You're dying for predictions.
Yeah, I want to jump off of what you just said.
Okay, let's roll the predictions.
Let's do it.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So dramatic the way they do that.
Predictions. All right, Courtney Tezeno, since you'd like a prediction, go.
All right. So my prediction, based off of the previews, is that we're going to see more of Tasha and her baby issues, and I think it's going to lead to what is his name again? Pookie. Pookie's going to have to come back into the picture, and I think maybe that idea of him raising the child may be better for them. So that's my prediction. He's going to have to come back into the picture.
Okay. Kevin?
I already said my prediction earlier regarding Malik. I would love for him to, stay committed to his fast, but I don't know. I have a feeling he's going to slip up sometime soon, possibly next episode. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. So that that's my prediction, and I do agree with Pookie. Pookie's presence will be seen very soon.
Right. I think Pookie's going to come back to raise a baby, but I think Tasha's not one to give up quick, and she's not one to accept defeat. So I think she's going to be fighting to keep her baby, and she's going to act like she wants to keep the baby, but then she's just going to break down and lose and be like, Pookie, take her. I'm sorry I've been fighting you for this baby, but take her because I can't do it.
Or maybe we'll see some growth in their relationship, and they can both do the whole co-parenting where they're a little more connected. We'll see.
It'll be interesting.
Co-parenting.
Well, make sure you leave your comments and let us know what you think, as well what's going to happen in this upcoming season. And as always, where can we find you guys?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TezKnows. As always, leave your comments. We want to hear everything you have to say.
That's right. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at HeyKevinJohn. Or you can find me here every Wednesday night at 10 o'clock.
And you can find me, Megan Thomas, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Meg Scoop, like scoop of ice cream. And make sure you watch the game each and every week and then come here and talk with us about what you thought on the episode. Until next week, peace out, y'all. Bye.
From
Adios.
executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later. Oh, I didn't even hit it.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.